All right, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Athlete, where we sit down with a Marymount Saints student athlete and dive into their athletic career, along with delving deeper into them as a person. This week, I'm joined by Ella DeNicola of the women's swimming team. Ella, how about you introduce yourself?
Well, Jack, thank you so much for having me. As Jack said, my name is Ella DeNicola. I am a sophomore on the women's swim team. I am a communications major. I've been swimming for about 15 years. I've been swimming since I was 6. So yeah, 15. Good math. I am an only child. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me to get this rolling.
Now, you actually reached out to me when you heard about this project and said that you wanted to be on. What drew your interest in this?
Well, for once, Jack is one of my really good friends. So
We take those.
you're welcome. But
Had to
so
drag that out. Just took some effort. I'll pay you later.
but I thought this was a really good idea because I feel like as an athlete, sometimes that's all you're seen as. But there's more to a person than just being an athlete. And sometimes, we struggle with that and learning that there is more to a person than just being an athlete, than it's just their sport, just their stats, just their times. And being able to experience that and be able to talk about things that have gotten me to this point, I think are really important to share for others.
So starting off with that, you swim, as you mentioned, for 15 years. What initially started that interest?
My mom swam in college, and so at the time when I was 6, I was dancing. I did ballet. Really wasn't rocking with it anymore. It was kind of getting old. So I told my mom, I was like, I don't like dance anymore. And she was like, okay, do you want to try something else? And I was like, yeah, I don't really know what I want to try though. And she was like, okay, how about swimming? And I was like, sure, why not? So I remember going to my local YMCA in Newberry, South Carolina, where I lived at the time. And I went to swim tryouts, and you had to make it across the pool. And if you could do that, you could join the swim team. And that's kind of what started it. I made it across that pool that day. Not pretty, but I got across the pool. And ever since then, we've been rocking and rolling up and down that pool for a long time.
So how would you say the season's been going so far?
We've had a remarkable season this year, and I'm really excited to be a part of it and to have been able to experience it. Currently, we have beat every single one of our conference opponents, which is a really big deal. Last year, we, as a women's team, were runner-up, and our men's team was runner-up. And now we are currently looking at a very good spot heading into our Atlantic East Conference Championship meet, which is actually in approximately 2 weeks from today. But I think when this is shown, it'll be 8 days. Yeah. 8 days away. So we're really looking forward to what we can accomplish as a team. This is really special. We have our coach, Christopher Natoli, who's been here. This is about his 2.5 year, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, Chris. 3 years, something along that line. And he's worked endlessly and tirelessly along with the rest of our coaching staff to make sure that we are prepared to go into this meet. And I couldn't be more excited for what we're going to be able to accomplish, no matter what the outcome is.
What would you say your favorite event to swim is?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. It changes a lot often. Right now, it's definitely probably the 200 backstroke. You might ask me in a couple of days, and I might say the 200 IM or individual medley. But right now, it's definitely the 200 backstroke.
Love for the 400.
We don't. The 400's a fun event. We'll leave it at that.
Do you have any particular inspirations in terms of swimmers that you look up to?
Yes. Got to be cliche and definitely say Katie Ledecky. She's a beast. She's definitely one of a kind, and there's no one else like her. She's crazy. I also really like Kathleen Baker. She swam in the 2016, don't hold me to that, 2016 Olympics. And she was young. She was very young. She was a backstroker, and she was the upcoming Missy Franklin at the time. And she went in and, turned some heads. And I think that that's really special when you come in and people don't expect you to be as good as you are. And then, hey, you're second in the world. That's pretty awesome. And so looking at her, and what she was able to accomplish at such a young age was really cool to watch and like follow at the time. So definitely Katie Ledecky and Kathleen Baker.
Now, with swimming, it's not quite exactly like other team sports where you're all out there, passing the ball to each other. You're sort of in your own lane, doing your own thing. But yet, I feel like for the swim team, at least at Marymount, there is definitely a strong, cohesive team bond. How do you say that comes about?
Well, if you don't know anything about swimming, technically we practice in the morning. So here at Marymount, we practice from 7 to 8:30 in the mornings. So we're up really early. Not everybody's a morning person. So, you have to push your teammates to smile in the morning. We have a few people that walk in, in the morning, they're dragging their feet, they're a little grumpy. But once we all get rocking and rolling in the pool, we're talking, splashing around, literally. Everybody starts to brighten up. And it's a real big bonding experience because we understand it like no other. You have to go to bed early. You get up early. There's a certain schedule and regiment that we have to attend to. And I think we bond through these hard things. You're getting in the pool, your body is aching. You're just really tired all the time. And through that, I feel like we as a team are really able to bond. And especially this year, like I previously said, we are having a remarkable season, and watching everybody just be so successful brings this energy that quite literally I have never felt before. And you're just so excited to watch your teammates be successful, and seeing what you're able to accomplish is crazy. Like when our relays get up on the blocks, I feel like the pool is quite literally the loudest it's ever been. It's such an amazing feeling, and it just makes you really excited to be there. And when everybody's excited, everybody's just smiling, and it's a great feeling to have.
So you mentioned having that regimented schedule and sticking to it. Would you say that's helped you in other aspects as well?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think for me, now this could definitely be different for other people, but my fall semester when we're in the peak of our season is definitely a lot easier than my spring semester, because I have this hard set schedule that I have to have. Like, I understand that I have to have my homework done every night by 10 because I have to be in bed by 10:30 in order to get up and be able to get through the next day with practice, lifts, my second practices, and all my classes. So having that set in stone schedule definitely makes my life a lot easier. And so I'm getting enough sleep. I'm able to get everything done in one day, which sometimes can be really hard.
So would you say that's the hardest part about juggling being a student and being an athlete at Marymount?
Yeah, time management's really hard. And it definitely takes a lot to learn how to manage your time. Everybody knows that, but I would definitely say that is one of the hardest things about being a student athlete. Yes. And
so you're a communications major at Marymount, correct?
I am. Yes.
What drew you to that major?
So one thing about me, Jack is probably gonna laugh at this. I really like to talk. I talk a lot, and so I really like to write as well. I'm a writer. I don't do math. Equations are not for me, but I'm a writer. So what better way to incorporate both of the things that I really love into one? It's communications. So and another thing that really drew me to that was sports. I want to go into sports communications. I would like to work in like the sports field, sports journalism type of thing, area. So, drawing that communications, sports, it's all, goes hand in hand.
So what would you say your dream job is then?
My dream job is to be an MLB on-field reporter.
For the Red Sox, right?
For the New York Yankees. For the New York Yankees. I would like to work for Yes Network and be a on clubhouse / on-field reporter for the New York Yankees. Well, for Yes Network, who covers for the New York Yankees.
And at Marymount, obviously we have an athletic department, which, shout out, that's what lets me do this. What opportunities have you taken advantage of?
So recently I just started working for the athletic communications department here at Marymount, and they have been super helpful and with helping me achieve the things that I want to achieve and getting me, getting my feet wet in these areas that I probably would not have the opportunity to get anywhere else. So thank you, Jacob and Tommy, for that. So being able to work a broadcast, like work our live streams for our sports here has been really important because it's helping me learn literally what I want to do in a few years, getting that hands-on experience at a younger age rather than going my 4 years through college and just applying for jobs and having no experience whatsoever.
Now, there was a particular experience that you just got recently. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Would you like to intro it since you were
I think it'd be better
my co-man on that?
I think it'd be better coming from
So Wednesday, it was Wednesday. I co-commentated my first women's basketball game with Jack. Marymount played the Christopher Newport Captains, and
number one team in the country, number one women's basketball team, Division III in the country.
The Saints performed very well, but that was a very special experience, and I'm very grateful for it. And I want to give a little thank you. I can't believe I'm doing this to Jack. Jack knew I was really nervous about this, but he went into it making me feel very comfortable and making me realize that, hey, this isn't scary. We were just talking to each other. That's really all it was. And so it makes me more excited, for everything that's to come in that field.
Thank you. That does actually mean a lot.
I'm so glad.
That actually caught me off guard. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can keep it in there.
What are you looking forward to most in the spring?
I'm looking forward to commentating on baseball and softball games, / working those games. Like I said, baseball is the field that I would adore to go in. I could not ask for anything more to go into baseball. However, I would take any other sport. If the NFL called and they were like, hey, I would answer the phone.
Send them clips from Wednesday's game. Maybe you might have a few phone calls.
Hey, maybe. But I'm very excited to work the baseball and softball games here at Marymount and getting the experience of the sport that I dream of working in.
And are there any classes that you're looking forward to?
I love all of my classes. I have not taken one bad class here at Marymount. However, I am looking forward to my communication and sports class with Tim Baton. Like I said, with going into the sports communications field, with that being the field that I want to go into, I could not ask for a better class. So I'm really excited to hear from Tim and all that he has to offer, along with all of the projects, assignments, things that we're going to do as a whole in that class. I'm very excited for that experience.
And are there any other professors you want to shout out?
Of course, I want to shout out Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris is my girl. She's been there for me since my freshman year. I've had her almost every semester. Had her for six classes, including now. And she has installed such a love for communications in my body that it's crazy. I love comm because of Dr. Harris, and I don't know if I would have stayed a comm major if I didn't have Dr. Harris, for sure. So she definitely has a huge impact on me. So I love you, Dr. Harris.
Just swinging back, I realized I didn't ask this. Are there any potential influences that you have in broadcasting?
Yes. So going back to Yes Network for the New York Yankees, I really like Meredith Markovitz. She is the clubhouse / on-field reporter for Yes Network. And she was the student athlete when she went to college. So literally looking at her and, that's me. It makes me realize that my dreams are possible. And so sometimes, when you're looking at these pro teams, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it. I'm just like her, but I'm me. So it helps provide a little bit of hope. I love the way that she does things. I love her, how she puts her own little twist on things. And so I admire everything that she does. And I hope that one day I can at least be half the reporter that she is.
Now, you mentioned you're initially from South Carolina. Is that?
That is correct. Yes.
How did that influence you growing up?
So I lived in a small town called Little Mountain, South Carolina. And, I lived there for 16 years of my life. I moved to Richmond this summer before my junior year. And where I lived on 7 acres of land. I had 12 chickens at one point in my life. I had a tractor, so if you know me at all, you're kind of like, what? So I'm a very city girl. I like to dress up. I don't like to, get dirty in a sense. Like I lived in South Carolina. So I was almost a completely different person when I lived in South Carolina. I lived in a very rural area. And so there was not, I had to find my own way of getting around. And so when it came time to looking for college, like I was looking to get out. I would not take my experience / life for those 16 years. I wouldn't trade them for anything because I fully think that they have formed me into the girl I am today. It's made me more grateful for all of the opportunities that I have now, that I've had recently, especially. And so I definitely think that it's made me, I had to grow up a little bit faster living there, I feel like. So I definitely think that it has definitely matured me a lot faster, and it's made me more grateful for everything that I've had, especially in the last couple of years.
And would you say that your family is a big part of who you are today?
Yes. Like I said at the beginning, I'm an only child. So my parents are in fact my best friends. My mom that's my best friend. I talk to my mom all day, every day. I'm constantly texting her. I'm constantly texting my dad, talking to my dad about sports. My dad's always checking in. Like Jack knows this. My parents watched my broadcast the other day. They were live streaming it on the TV, and they're my number one fans. And, going to college and leaving my parents, excuse me, was really hard. I love my parents and everything that they've done for me. And so when I went to college and being away from them was really hard because that was the first time I've ever had to do that. So now it definitely made our bond a lot stronger as a family. I definitely talk to them a lot more now that I'm gone, which is kind of funny. But my parents are definitely my number one fans. And I take after my parents a lot. I take after my dad's skills and ability to write and, to understand things. And when it comes to confidence, I definitely take off on my mom on that. My mom is very loud and proud, and I definitely have taken that trait from my mom. But the skills that I have when it comes to writing and my speaking skills are definitely from my father. So I have both of my parents are definitely in me, and I have a very good mix of both my parents' personalities and genes, without a doubt.
What would you say your biggest hobbies are outside of swim and school?
Outside of swimming and school, I like to travel. I like to go out and about, whether it be just outside in DC or if I'm getting in the car going somewhere, getting on a plane, that kind of thing. I really like music. Value my friends a lot, so I like to do things with my friends. Let me think.
Any particular artists that you...
I'm a very, very, very big Harry Styles fan. I also like Taylor Swift a lot, but I'm a very, very big Harry Styles fan.
Have you ever been to any concerts?
I've been to 2. I saw him in Capital One Arena the September of my freshman year, and then I just recently saw him in Madison Square Garden back in August.
Both Harry Styles?
Both Harry Styles.
Any other artists you would pay lots of money to go see?
I'm going to see Taylor Swift in a month. Not a month, in June. So yes, unfortunately, yes. Yes, I will buy a concert ticket. Not a good trait to have, but I will buy a concert ticket.
It's an experience, though.
It is an experience, and it's definitely ones that I will not forget for my whole life. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us and really delve deep into who Ella is, not just as a swimmer, but as a person.
Of course, Jack. Thank you so much for having me.